Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the year ahead forecast for each life path number. Now, keep in mind, these forecasts are going to be different than your own personal year ahead forecast. They will be relevant and you will feel these energies. However, if you're looking for sort of a more dialed in version, then I highly recommend a year ahead forecast, a personal year ahead forecast, where we'll look at your own personal numerology. Because again, the calculations are very different for this reading and for the personal year ahead forecast. So if you're interested in that, then you can book some time with me. And really anytime it's a good time to get a year ahead forecast. It'll give you an insight into the following 12 months and what they could bring and the types of energies you'll be working with. And it's broken down month by month, as well as an overview for the year ahead. If you're interested in that, anytime's a good time, but this is a great time because I'm recording this in the beginning of November. And so if you book now, you will get November and December of 2023, as well as January through December 2024. So you're getting a couple months extra thrown in there. So if you're interested in that, then book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. All right, so let's take a look at what could be coming up. So first and foremost, and this is relevant for every life path number, collectively, we are going to be working with the energy of the 8. Okay, so 2024 is an 8 universal cycle. So this is going to bring in key themes around money, control, or our relationship to money. Or our relationship to people in some degree of power or control or abundance. Also, it can bring up power struggles, as well as empowerment. So we could have opportunities show up this year to step into greater self-empowerment or to alleviate or find solutions for power struggles and how those may show up. This is also going to be a year that'll focus on authority and how to take authority within your own life, as well as manage your own life. So really when the 8 comes through in a cycle, we're being asked to take responsibility for our own journey, okay? And be very mindful of how we are showing up to the greater collective and how our actions have a greater influence or impact on the all, right? So this year is also going to bring into focus a lot about integrity and where there might be a lack of integrity and where there needs to be a boost in integrity. And remember, this can also happen on the global stage because this is the universal cycle. But we will feel these themes very strongly within our own journey as well. There could be things that come up around opportunities for success, abundance, progression when it comes to your career or your expertise. You might want to hone in on on certain skills and then express those skills in a way where you're sharing your wisdom, your knowledge to, again, assist in bettering another, right? In there, as far as their business or their career or whatever the case may be. When the 8 comes through in a cycle, this is a great time to use your own power, influence, status, money, resources to help to uplift, empower, inspire another. So opening doors for others, giving them an opportunity that they might not have had if you did not extend that offer. So when the 8 comes into play, it's really sort of trying to balance where there's integrity and where there isn't. And we can see that potentially come in around money, resources, power this year, again, on a global stage. So we could see some things crumble. We could see some shocking events that look to equalize power, money, resources, to bring it back into integrity, or at least initiate that process. Anytime we have an 8 cycle, we're being asked to have some level of spiritual evolution on the material plane. The 8 governs or is in charge of the material plane. It is very connected to the spiritual realm as well, but is very focused on the material plane. So it will bring into focus, again, on a global stage as well as individually, where it is that we could evolve a bit more when it comes to, again, our relationship to money, power, status, influence, all of those things. How can we infuse more integrity into those areas of our own life? And then again, on the larger arena, we could be looking at our relationship again to money, and where it is that maybe we give our power away when it comes to money or status or any of those things that I mentioned. So again, at the core of this, it's about self-empowerment. It's also about using that self-empowerment to uplift, empower, inspire others. So it becomes this sort of synergy where we're working together and merging our wisdom, our expertise, our abundance to uplift, empower, inspire the greater good through our own actions. I would also say there could be an influence, or there could be a strong pull to get very serious and focused on what it is that you feel called to become the expert in, right? So there may be something that has been pulling at you to really sort of invest the time and energy and resources into it so that you can step into that sort of mastery of whatever that is. And it doesn't have to be career related. It could be just your own personal growth and evolution, however it comes in for you. But there's definitely something about mastery and sort of authority in some area. And that doesn't mean that it's better than or less than anybody else. It just means that we are all experts at something eventually. And when we share that expertise, we contribute to the greater good. So all of these themes could be coming up this year for a greater reflection, and to kind of see where it is that we can make some adjustments or modifications to really step into this 8 cycle and what it has to offer. Also, themes of control could be coming up. And sometimes we have to reach a boiling point before we start to see the resolution or the solutions. So on a global stage, we may see things bubbling to the surface about control. And regardless of, there's so many ways that could come in. But also in our own lives, where is it that we're trying to have control over a situation or a person or something? And it's actually self-sabotaging us. So all these themes could be coming in this year at some point to be worked with more deeply and to be adjusted and to step into the higher octave of the 8, which again, really at its core has to do with integrity. So with that being said, let's take a look at each individual life path number. Life path number 1. You all are going to be working with the energy of the 9 throughout 2024, so you will feel the effects of the 8 coupled with the vibration of the 9. So before we get into that, I pulled an animal wisdom message for you all for 2024, and you got Weasel energy. And what's interesting about Weasel, anytime Weasel comes up, it sort of brings this energy of secrecy, illusions, or wearing a mask, okay? And so there's likely going to be some secrets that are revealed this year to you. And what I mean by that is, like, if there's some area of your life where you felt like, this just doesn't feel right, there's something off, or there's more to this story and I don't know what it is yet, or shocking secrets that maybe you just weren't even expecting or, anticipating could come up around family or friends or anyone really. Or, your boss at work or something like that, where it has the tendency to change the dynamic in some way. So it's kind of like when these secrets or a secret comes to light, there's something there that once you see it, you can't unsee it. And so it often will have some kind of dramatic effect. Well, it doesn't have to be dramatic, but some kind of effect on the experience, right? Or how we move through the experience. And so you may find that you are shifting gears this year, especially as it relates to those 8 themes that I talked about in the intro. you could see some major shifts there. You could see a lot of secrets coming out about that, masks being sort of ripped off, and seeing things for how they truly are, as opposed to how either we have perceived them to be or how we've been told they are, right? And so with the new information, you can then move differently through your journey. I mean, it's your choice, but it's kind of hard to go back to wearing that mask once it's been taken off. So that's what I'm getting with Weasel energy. Also, especially because we've got a collective energy of 8, there's definitely something here where it's like, just be really observant with the people who have some kind of authority or power or influence over your life, to see, are these people that I want to continue to have this deep of a connection with? How can I reclaim my power? How can I reclaim my authority? Where is it that I'm actively giving this away? And how can I bring it back in, right? And this could even be energetically. So if you're giving it away, this could be a great year to pull it back in, right? Now, with the energy of the 9, with this, there is definitely going to be some kind of major closures coming in for you all this year, but that doesn't have to be anything to fear or like, oh my gosh, more things to let go of or release, or, this getting pulled out from underneath me. That's not the case necessarily. It's more about tying things up with a nice bow, completing something. So if you've been working on something, or if you've been procrastinating on something, this could be a time where you start to tie up those loose ends, get that off your plate. So that allows new things to come in when you step into 2025, which you will then be working in a 1 cycle. And that's just going to open the floodgates because that's your energy. So this year is more about receptivity, where you've already done the work, you've put in the effort. And so there's no forcing here. This is going to be, things will start to present to you based on those efforts, and you will decide from that what to do with it. That doesn't mean that new things can't present to you. Of course they can, right? Because again, this is a year of receptivity, which also means receiving from the universe what you're now ready for. So you may have new opportunities present themselves to you, and of course take action on those. But this is more about not trying to force things that maybe you initiated previously and you haven't seen the results come through yet. This is about continuing to trust, the universe, the higher power, your soul, that it will come through in the way that it's meant to, but you are not meant to control or try to force that. So for you all, it's going to be a year of tying up loose ends, getting really serious about closing out and anything that needs to be closed out and releasing it. So if there's any area of your life where you are overly attached to that or trying to control it, then this is going to be a year where, because 9 energy is really about reminding us that everything is transient, everything is cyclical. What comes in must go out at some point. And so there could be some things where you are actively gripping really hard to and trying to control, or just you're very attached to it. And you could see that sort of be pulled away this year. But again, remember, it's opening you up for something that's more aligned. So it's like kind of that analogy of like thinking of like maybe, I don't know, a 5-year-old who has their favorite blanket because it makes them feel safe, right? But when they can release that blanket, then, or maybe I should have used like a pacifier or something, right? Like a child who has, let's use that, a child who has a pacifier, right? That's like very soothing for that child. And it's very sometimes difficult to wean them off of the pacifier. But once that you do, then something new comes in that's more aligned or more, I guess, appropriate for that part of their journey, right? That's such a random example, but so there's something here about what is your pacifier and what is it that it's time to release and let go of so that something new can come in, or at least just set it down and then, see if you continue to pick it up, because you might not. The other thing is, anytime we're in a 9 cycle, this can be a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful opportunity to get very connected to our higher self, our higher consciousness, our guides, the universe, etc., etc. So this is a great time. Pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to any sort of psychic or intuitive downloads. Pay attention to just what really resonates for you. Like if someone says something or you see something and it just really pings you, like you feel it. Pay attention to it. You don't necessarily have to do anything with it unless you feel called to, but pay attention to it because there's probably a deeper message there, and you will likely be working with it in the future. So at the very least, write it down and then see what comes of it. During a 9 cycle, it is a beautiful time to get new messages, new inspirations, new ideas, and you're basically planting those seeds because again, next year, things are going to just take off and sort of ramp. So this year is about receptivity, planting those seeds, trusting yourself, trusting the universe, trusting others to be able to know when to take action on these things. So I think that's pretty much all I want to say about that. The big thing I would say about this year for you all is just don't force anything. If you find that you're exerting yourself and you're just spinning your wheels, just stop. Just stop, because you're not going to see the progress that you are trying to see in that area by exerting yourself more. Probably what you'll see is when you take your foot off the gas and sort of become idle, you will see things present to you that are much more aligned. It's kind of like when we're in a 9 cycle, the veil is thin or the channel is wide open. And so it's kind of like our soul is in the driver's seat. So what our ego thinks is what we need or deserve or want is so much smaller than what the soul knows that we, truly need, desire, and want. And so this could be a year where you see that coming in for you, those higher octave, more aligned ideas, inspirations, opportunities. So pay attention and don't be too quick to dismiss whatever comes in. So I hope it is a great 2024 for you all. I'll be here every step of the way, and we'll see you then. Bye for now.